And now for something completely different. Hey, Void. How you doing? So, after getting through all that exploitation nonsense, let's get on to something a little bit more lighthearted. Now, technically, I've been watching. This is being a series I've been watching over the course of a couple weeks, but I actually would have finished it probably after my third of those Sasori movies. But it just was easier to do all four back to back to back to back to back. So, this was one of the last things I finished watching before leaving my old place. The 701 Grudge Song was the first movie I watched in the hotel room while waiting to get to my new place. Oh. And this one was a Netflix series that I've been meaning to watch forever because I knew it was going to be right up my alley. Because I love animated series, and everything I've been hearing about She-Ra and the Princesses of Power was amazing. And I loved this series. I'm not gonna lie. It hit me good. I can't stress enough how much I really enjoyed this. I will say, after the first couple episodes, I was a little unsure. I mean, I was liking it, but I wasn't sure if I'd call it great. But wow, the way the characters interact, develop, and grow over the 4 seasons, I believe, 4 or 5. They had a weird kind of breakdown for it. 5 seasons, 52 episodes total. It it is phenomenal. And while you can see some of the turns coming, like Catra and Adora's friendship or more, or going back and forth throughout it, it is enjoyable to watch it play out. And I can't count how many times I did want to shake Catra, but that was in a good way. It was like you could see why she was making all the bad choices she was. You could understand why. But girl. Okay. So this is a remake of the I want to say 80s show. I keep wanting to put it as earlier, but I'm pretty sure the original She-Ra was in the 80s. But of course, my thing is not quickly pulling it up. There it is. Yeah, the original one was 85. This one was 2018. So much later, and very much redesigned. Though they keep a lot of the pun-based names that all the characters had from back in the day, but it works. So, Dora is a member of the Horde, which is trying to conquer the planet. However, she views it as trying to liberate them from dangerous princess rebels. Well, after she gets separated from her battalion and sees them pretty much laying waste to a city rather than liberating it, and finding a magic sword in the forest, she becomes She-Ra and now is the rebellion's best hope for survival against Hordak's impending forces. While the Princess Alliance is a little bit unsure about trusting a former Horde soldier, at the same time, She-Ra is a legendary hero that was whispered about as coming back to save them. So they throw their lot in with her, particularly the Princess of Bright Moon, Glimmer, and her best friend, Bow, who is, yes, he just fights with a bow. Why it's called Bow. All the characters have delightfully pun-based names, just like they did back in the 80s. Now, it goes from there of following them trying to reunite get some princesses to rejoin the alliance after it fell apart, while struggling to stave off the attacks of Shadow Weaver, Hordak, and the rest of the evil horde from the Fright Zone. But there's even more going on here than that, as twists and turns. The benevolent AI that's training Adora may not in fact be so benevolent, as she has ulterior functions, and the looming dangers from beyond that make even Hordak's forces pale in comparison that are slowly being revealed. This show gets really intense. And at the same time, it is very funny, and the characters they're also enjoyable. It's hard to pick a character to dislike. It's all of them usually have some quirk that makes them very entertaining. How like among the villains, Double Trouble is one of the most difficult of them to deal with as he's a shapeshifter. But they are so flamboyant, it is hilarious to watch them go. This series embraces all kinds of relationships and sexualities, and it does a very good job of portraying it like it isn't a big deal. The two characters that you meet early on in the first episode, two of the princesses, are just a married couple, but they don't like throw it in your face. It's just an offhand, like they're just at first just kind of next to each other and calling each other dear, with no real reference for it, and then later talking about their married life as the series goes along. But I will say the amount of queer coding in this show is great, but I don't know if there's an entirely straight person in this entire series. But that's a compliment. It is all very enjoyable. And while you can see some of the twists and turns coming, because it is still a kid's show, they handle it with a lot of maturity, and while you may be able to make a few calls, it's fun to see how it plays out. My particular favorite character ended up being Scorpia. There's just something about how she has got to be the best himbo I've ever seen, but as a giant lady scorpion. She is... I felt really bad for her through a lot of it, as she's in a very bad relationship, but she's doing everything she can to hold on to it, while Catra, who she's fixated on, wants next to nothing to do with her. Until she realizes that Scorpion's gone. And, yeah. Though it's hard to pick it overall, most of the characters are fun in their own regard. At first I was not sure if I would care for Glimmer and Bow, but they really do grow on me throughout the series. And, like, they do a good job with other kinds of representation. Like, the creators did indicate that Entrapta was intended to be on the spectrum, and they actually had some coordinators there that actually had experience with it, helped work with her dialogue and her interactions. So they portray it in a very good way. They never just come out and say it, but she just says that she has problems understanding people. So, yeah. This show is great for representation, great for... The animation is beautiful. The characters interact so well. The only complaints I have are nitpicks at best. My only... and there are two. One, this show has not gotten a physical release completely. First 3 seasons are out. Season 4 and 5 have not come out. I want to own them. I can't own them. That's a problem for me. I'm going to eventually make up the first ones, but Netflix has shown no indication of releasing the other ones, and that makes me sad on the inside. Now, the other pick is a minor one, but it's the only thing that keeps this from being a 10 MacGuffin series with me. That's how much I did really enjoy this series. I'm giving it 9 MacGuffins. It would have gotten 10, but it didn't completely stick the landing for me. And by that I mean, I just wanted a little bit more epilogue. There's so many characters where we don't really see what's going to be next for them, and it just kind of ends. I would like to have just seen a little, like 1 or 2 more episodes of just some epiloguing. I would have even settled for 1, or just some quick sum-ups. Hell of a credit roll montage, I would have been down with. But just, like, the creators had pretty much indicated a few things that they were going to happen, like my girl Scorpia getting in, having a relationship with another character. Which kind of hint those characters were really playing off each other well in the last season, but they don't actually confirm anything other than, yeah, those two are probably a couple later. But yeah, other than that, I really enjoyed this. I just want to see where everybody ended up a little bit more after the fact, because it does end on a good point. I understand why there's not another season. It doesn't need another season. All the plot threads are tied off neatly. There's nothing really left hanging. This does feel like a complete series. I just wished it could have just given me just a touch more, just to give it a little chef kiss at the end. But, minor nitpick, I really did enjoy this one. It's got to be one of my favorite series that I've seen in recent memory. I loved She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. And I really want to pick this one up. I just wish I could. Alright. Series are always hard to talk about because you don't know I don't know exactly what to say because each season does have its own kind of contained plot, and discussing each character in depth is usually beyond the scope of my little ramble videos. But overall, I think I've covered everything I would like to say about it. I could gush a lot more. Favorite scene has to be East, still Scorpia, putting Catra into like her a cat burrito to kind of try to rock her and calm her down. Any cat owner, which I am, knows the feeling of having to put a cat in a blanket burrito to. So that hit me just perfectly, and it resonated very well. Yeah, She-Ra, the Princess of Power. If anything's making you sleep on this one, don't. It's worth it. It's very good. All right. Have a good day, everybody. I think this is the last one I'm going to do for right now. But that's 5 vids in quick succession. So, I will probably try to do another 1 or 2 tonight. Just, I've got another 14 in my backlog. Plus, I was going to watch another movie tonight, so... And 2 that may have slipped through the cracks from before, so... And actually, there's another one waiting because my partner may have wanted to comment a few things herself, so I don't know when that one's coming out, but technically that would have been before even my She-Ra review here. That would have actually been right after my 13th Child review. Ah, well, we'll get to that one when I get to that one. Talk to you guys later.